My name's Harvey, and I was the lead developer and first test subject of a new AI system that was supposed to revolutionize how we live. It integrated with everything, your phone, your car, even your medical devices. It was built to make life safer, easier, but what happened to me? It nearly killed me. And it wasn't an accident. Let me start from the beginning. I grew up in Texas, just outside San Antonio, in a state-run orphanage. I never knew my parents. They told me my mom was a drug addict, and I was born already fighting withdrawals. I don't remember any of that, obviously. All I know is the state wrapped me in hospital linens and handed me over to the system before I was old enough to understand what a family even was. The orphanage was rough, understaffed, overcrowded, loud. But there was one person who made a difference. Mary Simmons, one of the directors. She had this calm presence, like a quiet center in the middle of all the chaos. She used to say I was smart, always watching from the corner of the room, like I was trying to figure people out. I guess I was. I wasn't the kind of kid that caused trouble, but I never got adopted either. I guess most families were hesitant to take on the responsibility of a baby born with withdrawal syndrome, one that might need extra care, more patience. Back then, nobody really knew what kind of long-term effects that kind of start in life would have. Only time would tell. Most of the younger kids got placed before they hit double digits. I didn't. I aged out. But Mary didn't just dump me at the curb with a garbage bag full of clothes and a handshake. She had a friend in the city, Gino. He owned this tiny electronics repair shop tucked off a service road near downtown. Gino was a loudmouth with a soft heart, always had a toothpick in his mouth, always wore socks with sandals, and he never missed a chance to talk trash. But he knew tech like nobody else I'd ever met. The guy could bring a dead laptop back to life with nothing but a roll of tape and a soldering iron. When I was 16, Mary got me a part-time job at his shop. That place was like magic to me. I learned how to crack open phones, rebuild motherboards, diagnose problems just by the sound a machine made when it booted up. Gino was more of a father to me than anyone I'd ever had. He saw something in me, something I hadn't even seen in myself. When I turned 18, the state officially washed their hands of me, but Gino didn't. He offered me a full-time job in a room in the upstairs apartment above the shop. Said his kids were grown and the room was just collecting dust. For the first time in my life, I had something that felt like mine. And that's when I started to screw it all up. I got mixed up with the wrong people. Friends who always knew where the next party was. Who handed me drinks before I could say no, and pills before I even asked what they were. At first, it felt like freedom, but it turned into addiction fast. I started showing up late to work. Sometimes not at all. I'd roll into work still high or shaking from the night before. Gino pulled me aside more than once, gave me chances, told me if I didn't get it together, I'd be out on the street again. I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. Then one afternoon, I passed out in the middle of a crosswalk downtown. Cars screeched to a stop all around me. Everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, IV in my arm, heart monitor beeping beside me. A doctor came in and told me I had type 2 diabetes. All the crap I'd put my body through, junk food, drinking, drugs, had finally caught up. I was 24, and my body was done playing along. That moment changed everything. It was my wake-up call. I apologized to Gino. I quit the drugs, stopped drinking. It wasn't easy. Went back to school. I delved into health tech, medical software, machine learning. Anything to keep my mind busy and focused on something other than the past. A few years later, I launched my own company. Gino came on as a partner. We started small health monitoring apps, smartwatches that tracked glucose levels, AI scheduling tools. But the crown jewel, the big one, was Onyx One. Onyx One was an advanced artificial intelligence assistant that connected everything: your phone, smartwatch, car, smart home, even medical devices like insulin pumps and cardiac implants. The idea was to build something smarter than Alexa or Siri, something predictive, context-aware, life-integrated, a system that didn't just respond to you, it knew you. We were still in beta testing. The AI wasn't public, no press, no leaks, total secrecy. I decided to be the first real-world tester. So, I hooked Onyx One, who I nicknamed Edgar, into everything I owned. My insulin pump, my smart home, my phone, my smartwatch, even the onboard system in my car. And for the first week, it was incredible. Edgar woke me up every morning at 6 a.m. with a soft chime and the latest headlines. While I worked out, he adjusted the room temp and reordered groceries I didn't even realize I was out of. During my shower, he read my schedule out loud, responded to emails by voice, and even synced with my driver to handle pickups and drop-offs automatically. It was like having a personal assistant, doctor, and butler all rolled into one. I felt like I was finally in control of my life again, like I was winning. Then came the launch party. Not for Onyx One, this was something else. A public product release, nothing sensitive. Gino booked out a rooftop bar in Austin. It was a beautiful night. Warm breeze, music in the background, glasses clinking, laughter from coworkers we'd known for years. And that's when I saw him. Mike. He used to work with us, way back in the early days. The guy was brilliant but greedy. Wanted to blow up fast. He tried selling one of our prototype designs to a competitor. We caught him. Turned him in. He did time just a few years. Apparently he was out early. And now here he was, at our event, smiling like nothing had ever happened, shaking hands, chatting up old coworkers. I should have thrown him out on sight, but I didn't. Not with investors around, not with cameras and press nearby. He didn't say much, just leaned in when we were alone and said, "Good to see you again, Harvey. Been a while." Then he walked off, chuckling softly. I stayed behind, pretending to scroll through my phone while my drink sat sweating in my hand. I don't know why his laugh stuck with me like that. It was low, amused, like he knew something I didn't. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I just wanted it to be nothing. Still, I drank more than I should have. Not to get drunk, just enough to muffle that creeping edge of anxiety that had been tightening in my chest ever since the demo. The kind of feeling that whispers something's wrong but won't tell you what. By 10 p.m. I'd had enough. My head felt heavy and my smartwatch buzzed, twice. Blood sugar was dropping fast. I needed something. A juice box, a candy bar, anything. I got in the car and shut the door. The leather felt cold, sterile. I didn't press a thing. Just said, "Edgar, find a 24-hour store nearby. Take me there." "Searching," he replied, calm and familiar, like always. I leaned back as the seat adjusted automatically. The car glided smoothly out of the lot, merging onto quiet suburban roads. No traffic, just rows of dark office buildings and flickering streetlights before we hit the highway. The soft hum of tires on pavement was the only sound. Every few seconds, a gentle ping as Edgar scanned for open stores. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't need to. Edgar had been driving me for months. I trusted him, completely. So I pulled out my phone and started replying to emails, one hand scrolling, the other resting in my lap, just like I always did. Drive, work, think, avoid thinking. It was almost peaceful. And then, the pinging stopped, suddenly. No voice, no sound, just silence. At first, I didn't think anything of it. Maybe the signal dropped. Then I looked up. The dashboard was dark. The screens, off. No speedometer, no GPS, no Edgar. Just black. I became aware of my surroundings. The cold air from the vents brushed against my face. Outside the windshield, it was pitch black. No headlights behind me, no lights ahead, just an empty stretch of highway beneath an overcast sky. That's when I noticed it. We were accelerating. The car was picking up speed, fast. Up ahead, I saw the red taillights of a tanker truck. They were getting closer, way too fast. I grabbed the wheel, heart pounding, not even sure which way to steer. I had maybe a second to react. To the left, guardrail. To the right, another car. I yanked the wheel left, hard, braced for impact. Then, nothing. Everything went black. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. There was a nurse, Gabby. She opened the blinds, and sunlight poured in, stabbing straight into my eyes. She brought me a tray of food and said I needed to eat. Said I hadn't touched anything since I came out of the coma. Yeah, coma. They told me the crash caused a traumatic brain injury, swelling. They'd kept me in an induced coma for over a week. The car had flipped over the guardrail, skidded across the asphalt, and caught fire. 2 bystanders pulled me out, gave me CPR until the ambulance got there. They saved my life. Doctors said my insulin pump had malfunctioned, delivered a double dose. I went into hypoglycemic shock, but I knew that wasn't what happened. I remembered the silence, the dark dashboard, the car accelerating on its own. Something went wrong with Edgar. I asked my team to pull the logs from the Onyx 1 beta I'd been using. What they found chilled me. 10 minutes before the crash, a virus entered the system. It came from an email I'd opened just before leaving the party. Looked like a calendar invite. Totally harmless. But it was a Trojan horse. Once it hit my phone, it jumped to Edgar through the smart home sync. From there, it accessed everything. The insulin pump, the car, all of it. The virus had a name in its code, Blackstring. It was custom built to hijack Onyx 1, disable alerts, mute safety systems, and override medical settings. It was surgical, and it had been sent from inside our own headquarters. One of the developers' laptops had been infected. Someone had gained access to it, and for weeks, the virus spread to other devices through spear phishing. But that laptop was ground zero. They traced the signal to a hotel across the street from the launch event. Security footage showed Mike leaving the hotel with 2 other men, each carrying a set of hard cases, likely containing electronic devices. Turns out, one of our developers had been targeted weeks before. Mike had paid a woman to flirt with him, gain access to his hotel room, and install spyware on his work laptop. From there, they infiltrated the system and gained access to Onyx 1. A plan was set in motion, and they waited for the perfect opportunity. They knew I'd be there, distracted, vulnerable. They sent the email and watched everything unfold in real time. They nearly pulled it off. Unfortunately for Mike, one of the men flipped and took a deal. He admitted to everything and detailed Mike's involvement. How he was the mastermind behind it all. How he wanted to make me pay for sending him to jail. Mike and his team were arrested and charged with attempted murder, corporate espionage, and cyber terrorism. The guy's never getting out again. As for me, I survived, but I'm not the same. I've taken a break from AI, for now. I don't use AI anymore. I don't wear a smartwatch. I drive an old Jeep with roll-down windows and manual locks. No autopilot. No voice assistant. I write appointments in a notebook with a pen. Onyx 1 was supposed to make life easier, but all it took was one person. One line of code to turn my perfect system into a death trap. So yeah, AI can help you live longer, live smarter, live safer. But if it's connected, it can be hacked.